So with that, I believe we can start our show, and let's roll our very first video.
I'm Shi Hui, Associate Director of Deal Origination at biotech company Rexus.
Hi, I'm Karen from APAC.
I'm Jerome. I'm the co-founder of Smile API.
This is the 8th iteration of our summit here in Asia Pacific, and our first one that is fully in person since the start of the pandemic.
Really glad that APAC Summit is back in person.
You know, we've only been here sort of 20 minutes so far this morning, and already there's the level of conversations and the access to the people.
The great thing about a plug-and-play summit really is the networking.
Getting the chance to pitch and then share about Quest on stage and also through the booths.
And I think that's what sets Plug and Play apart from potentially other accelerator programs, that global presence and that global view with local in-market understanding and knowledge.
There were a lot of touch points already with Plug and Play. So yeah, you guys are everywhere.
It was quite nice to see a number of startups in the ecosystem. So that's what I value about Plug and Play. It's the ecosystem that they have, how connected they are both in the startup ecosystem and the corporate innovation and venture practices.
I'm looking forward to be inspired and also educated on the diverse perspectives that the guest speakers will be sharing. And I'm also excited to learn about the innovations that the pitching startups will be showing us later on.
We are very happy to have all of our stakeholders in the ecosystem present here. We have our investor partners, we have our corporate partners, we have startups, we have other stakeholders in the ecosystems, and we're very glad that everyone can be in person, saying hi, shaking hands, making deals, and having a great time.
It was great seeing everyone at our APAC Summit this November. Thank you to all our corporate partners, startup investors for making the trip down to Singapore. Hope that everyone enjoyed the experience and see you all next time. Alright, so that was our last APAC Summit in November. So last summit we held at Raffles City Convention Centre. This time around, we decided to give everyone a different experience, bringing you guys to National Gallery. So I hope everyone will have similar interesting experience as per our last summit. Alright, so to get the show started, firstly, welcome everyone to our 9th edition of our Plug and Play APAC Summit. My name is Karina. I'm the Senior Director of Programs from Plug and Play here in Asia Pacific. And I'm very excited to be here with everyone in Singapore today. So at our summit today, we are covering many exciting topics. Being a true blue Singaporean myself, one that sits closest to me is bringing Singaporean startups to overseas market. We also run many industry team accelerator programs such as sustainability, smart cities, as well as financial services. So today we do have a very amazing lineup of guest speakers, keynotes, as well as panel sessions. So please stay tuned throughout our entire conference. All right, moving on to our agenda slide. So what the agenda is going to look like this morning, we have our welcome address from our managing partner, Juk Tan, followed by some key announcements from our colleague Patricia, an opening keynote from Income Insurance, before we move into our very first panel session between Enterprise Singapore as well as our co-founder Jojo, moderated by Nikkei Asia, on the topic of empowering innovation ecosystems. So don't miss this very exciting panel. I've seen some of their exciting talking points. After the panel, we'll move into our startup pitches for the Global Innovation Alliance program. And of course, throughout the entire day, I'm sure everyone has experienced the exhibiting booth outside. So be sure to interact and get connected to our startup founders. They have put together many hours to bring to you their solutions. And if you'd like to get connected to our startups post-event, there is a QR code within the event booklet. Do scan the QR code, and our program manager will be able to send an email introduction post-event. Okay, moving on to the housekeeping slide. So going through a couple of housekeeping items. So firstly, we would like to ensure that each and every one of you get connected to Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi name is Gallery Visitor. So upon clicking on Gallery Visitor, there will be a pop-up screen. Input your email address and you'll get connected to our internet. It's important that you get connected to our Wi-Fi as there are call to action throughout the entire day for you to get connected to our startups. So once again, our Wi-Fi name is Gallery Visitor. Next, for refreshments, we have 2 buffet lines. One is located at the entrance of the exhibition hall. The second is located right at the bottom of this conference hall. With regards to eating timings, morning breakfast is running from now all the way to 11 a.m. Lunch is from 12 to 2 p.m. And lastly, afternoon coffee break is from 3 to 5 p.m. And as you can tell that we have a very large audience base today. So in order for everyone to identify each other, we have color-coded our name badges. So if you look at your name tags, at the bottom of your name badge, there is a different color. Blue indicates you are from corporate or government. Red indicates you are a startup. And green indicate you are an investor or community partner. And lastly, gray indicate that you are from Plug and Play. And for restrooms, restroom is located at the entrance of our exhibition hall. So if you take a left turn upon entering the exhibition hall and walk all the way straight, you'll be able to spot our restrooms. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our very first speaker, Managing Partner of Plug and Play Asia Pacific, Juk Tan, to give us the welcome address. Juk, please.
Thank you, Karina. A very warm welcome. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for all your support for this event and over the years. For those of you that have been following us or that have been with us over the last few events or the last few years or perhaps the last decade for some of you, you know that I'm very boring. I crack the same jokes. I wear the same thing. These are the same shoes I've had for the last 10 years. And the joke that I gave last night that I give all the time is that this was a 10-year-old photo that was photoshopped. So unfortunately, I don't look like that anymore. But in any case, over the years, as we've grown the team, as we've grown our programs all around the world, we have really been blessed to be part of a great ecosystem. We are constantly trying different things, and today is one of them. This is the first time that we are running the APAC Summit. Well, not the first time in Singapore, but the first time in this venue. And as you can tell from those standing at the back, thank you so much. The space is limited. Do let your colleagues and friends and partners know that we are also streaming outside as well. So you can catch some of the content outside. Karina and team have put in a great job so far. So I think the details would be in all the startups and all the corporate partners and all the community partners and stakeholders in the ecosystem that you'll talk to today. So I really don't want to talk too much. So perhaps I'll just start with a quick video on a recap of Plug and Play's activities last year. Can we roll the video? All right. We are Silicon. Thank you. We're a Silicon Valley-based U.S. company, so you can tell by the amount of money we spend on marketing. So they say we have to play at least 3 videos per event. So we're at 2. We'll play at least 1 or 2 more along the way. I won't go into details, but I think perhaps some of you might share the same sentiment I have felt that, I thought 2021, we come out of the pandemic and we're good, but it wasn't really the case. It was 2022 that we come out of COVID, but it still felt like a bit of a COVID hangover, if you will. And then we thought 2023 is going to be great. And then FTX, and then Silicon Valley Bank. And then people joke and they ask us, oh, so do you guys work with Silicon Valley Bank? We're like, we don't have money in Silicon Valley Bank, but we have some in First Republic. And you guys know what happened with First Republic. So suffice to say, I think the start of the year has been challenging, but challenging and exciting. As we come into June, we are, in full swing. Summer, I think enthusiasm is high. We've been talking to our startups, our corporate partners, our stakeholders. We're all looking forward to a great 2023. So without further ado, once again, I welcome you to the APAC Summit. Thank you to our keynote speakers, distinguished guests, panelists, and most importantly, startups and partners. Today is about engaging with the ecosystem, learning new things. There are a lot of plug-and-play team members around. You will find them everywhere with name tags. With that, let me hand it over back to Karina. Enjoy today. Please do say hi. If we run out of food, I don't think we will run out of food, but we might run out of coffee, I think. All right, enjoy. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, thank you, Jude. And of course, as always, thank you to our marketing team for those two very inspiring videos. Up next, I'd like to introduce Patricia Nordstrom, Senior Director of Corporate Partnerships for Plug and Play, to share with us some new and exciting announcements. Patricia, please.
Thanks, everyone, and it's a real full house today. So welcome again, and thank you for joining us. Before getting started, I just wanted to give a quick recap. So as you know, many of us are very interested in the innovation ecosystem, and Plug and Play is the same. We believe in bringing people together, whether you're a corporate investor, part of the community, or a startup. And that's really the vision that we have. We want to create the connective tissue between all players. Now, just a quick recap of who we are and what we do as a business. We have 3 business lines. One is, of course, venture capital. So that's our bread and butter. That's how we started. We are an early stage investor and consistently ranked top early stage investors globally. And in terms of numbers, we do about 200 investments a year, anywhere between 15 to 35 million deployed annually. So that's quite a big shout out to our ventures and investment team. Next, we believe in bringing corporates and governments together and also working with them. So we have a corporate innovation business that essentially partners with strategy office, CVCs, innovation teams of major corporates, typically Fortune 500, some within the Fortune 1000 category, and major governments from all across the world. Many of you who are working with us can probably share your stories with others. And we are the largest in the world doing this with more than 550 partners to date, and we're looking forward to expand further. Last part is acceleration programs, a little bit unique to how Plug and Play runs things. We have acceleration programs that are stage agnostic, no equity-based fees for startups to participate, so it's really based on merit, and they are dictated by large corporations who have interests in specific fields. And we run more than 60 of these a year across every single country that you saw on the next map. Now, moving to the next piece, how are we established? We have a large presence across the world, and if you are ever in these locations and like to meet us, let us know. We'd be happy to connect you to team members. We have 50 locations across about 20 different markets and growing. Some of our newest locations I'll announce shortly in Southeast Asia. And we have a large workforce, so very unique to Plug and Play. We have 700 people globally, of which a third is a ventures analyst. So those are the people tasked to look at startups day in and day out. Now, the exciting part of today's summit is announcing some of our new partnerships. So with that, I'd like to welcome a little bit more about our Asian presence. So we've now launched our newest office in KL in Malaysia, and we'll be working with a series of new partners. We have several verticals which focus across on financial services, healthcare, sustainability and smart cities, health, and still exploring how to set up our food and agriculture verticals. In addition, we also have some special projects, so custom programs as the likes of Visa and Meta, and also working closely with governments to provide market access to startups entering new markets. So with that, I'd like to welcome all our current partners, as well as our newest partners to the plug-and-play ecosystem. The first being Celcom Digi, which is Malaysia's largest telecommunications company with more than 20 million users. Please give them a round of applause. Next, we are expanding our relationship with Enterprise Singapore, working with them in 3 locations now to support Singapore startups going to the US market. So with that, I'd like to introduce Enterprise Singapore, which is a government agency championing enterprise development in Singapore. Next, we are welcoming Equinor Ventures, who's joining our sustainability vertical. Equinor Ventures is Equinor's corporate venture capital arm dedicated to investing in ambitious early phase and growth companies. Next, we have FWD that is joining our financial services vertical. FWD Group is a pan-Asian life insurance business with more than 10 million customers across 10 markets, including some of the fastest growing insurance markets in the world. Next, we have Hitachi Payment Services, also joining our financial services vertical. A subsidiary of Hitachi Limited, Hitachi Payment Services is an integrated payment solution provider, empowering financial institutions, payment aggregators, and fintechs with a comprehensive array of end-to-end payment solutions focused on security, reliability, and innovation. Next, we're welcoming IMDA, who's working with our Gold program to support local startups to get business access. The Infocom and Media Development Authority, IMDA in short, is a statutory board under the Singapore Ministry of Communications and Information, which leads Singapore's digital transformation by developing a vibrant digital economy and an inclusive digital society. Next, we have Kisia, working with our Gold team as well to support Korean startups expanding overseas. Kisia is the Korean representative and designated professional organization for converged security industry, covering both cyber and physical security. Next, we have Khazanah, who's working with us on Future Malaysia program and also very big partner for our opening of the Malaysia office. Khazanah Nasional, or Khazanah in short, is the sovereign wealth fund of Malaysia, entrusted to deliver sustainable value for Malaysians. Next, we have MetLife, working with our Insurtech vertical. MetLife is one of the world's leading financial services companies, providing insurance, annuities, employee benefits, and asset management to help its individual and institutional customers navigate their changing world. Next, we have Oppo, working with us for the Oppo Hack 2023 program. Oppo is a leading global smart device brand. And lastly, again, this is the last one. Sorry for taking so much time, guys. Last but not least, we have Petronas, who have worked with us for Race to Decarbonize. Petronas is a global Malaysian energy group with presence in over 100 countries. And with that, we would love to introduce the rest of our panels and keynotes and hope you have a great day today. Again, if you have any questions or like to talk to Plug and Play, reach out to any of our team members. And thanks again for your time. Passing it back to our MC, Karina.
All right, thank you, Patricia, and welcome to all our new corporate partners. Indeed, 2023 is looking very exciting for the Plug and Play team. Up next, we have an amazing keynote speaker that I'd like to introduce, Mr. Peter Tay, Chief Digital Officer at Income Insurance. Peter oversees Income Digital Transformation Office to accelerate the organization digital strategy, spearheading initiatives on digitization and innovation. Peter is instrumental in establishing Income as a leading digital insurer in Singapore. Can we please give Peter an amazing round of applause to welcome him on stage? Peter, please.
Hi, good morning. Really happy to be here today as part of PMP APAC Summit. And I'm really excited to be given the opportunity to share with all of you some of the journeys that we've taken, right, to put income through this entire digital transformation. We put it down as an insurer to Insurtech. Basically, it means we are a corporate trying to be a startup, right? So hopefully we can become one. And over the next couple of slides, it's very hard to share with you what we've gone through over the last 6 years, but hopefully we could at least share some interesting experiences or some lessons that we have learned over the last 6 years. A little bit about who Income Insurance is for those who don't know us. We are one of the leading composite insurer in Singapore. We have been around for the last 53 years. We serve 2.2 million customers, residents of Singapore. That's about 1/3. We are a 47 billion in assets company, and we have been rated AA- since 2009. Right? Pretty amazing traditional insurer that has been serving Singaporeans as well as residents of Singapore for the last 53 years. We are also part of the larger family of NTUC, NTUC Enterprises, which have 3 big pillars. One on financial services with the latest member, Trust Bank, which is a collaboration of Fair Price Group together with Standard Chartered that was been launched last year. We also have the social pillar that deals with education, healthcare, as well as preschool education. And then last but not least, everything about food. I think most of the residents of Singapore will be familiar with NTUC Fair Price, right? This is where we shop our groceries, etc., etc. So Income is actually one of the social enterprises within NTUC families. Let me go to the next slide. So in 2017, actually Income Insurance decided that we are in the midst of a crisis, right, in 2017. And that is the time, just to lend a bit of context, where a lot of Chinese tech companies begin to come to Singapore to set up shops in Singapore. That was also the time we hear about Amazon coming to Singapore, and we are not sure how all these platform players will play out for a traditional insurer like us, right? So at that time, both the board and the management team, me included, we make a decision to say that maybe we should start to think hard about how can we operate a little bit more like a startup, right? And based on a set of good backing, a good assets of a corporate, as well as a connection of a corporate, and how do we operate from that point onwards. So at that time, we decided to form a group of people, right, with very diverse background. And for the first time, we recruit lawyers, we recruit bankers, we recruit startup owners whose startup has failed and looking for a corporate work. And they make it very clear, I'm just going to come and work for you for 2 years because my heart is not with a corporate. And I say, okay, I can accept that, and let's see if we can do something together. So we form a group of very diverse people, and the mission given to them is very non-corporate, right? Basically, we say you just come in and see if you could think about an insurance product that is not seen in the market, and I don't mean Singapore. It's not seen in Southeast Asia and hopefully Asia, right? Or if not global. Or can you look at all the pain points that traditional insurers like us has been imposing on customers, and is there a better way of designing a product that we would attempt to serve the customers of tomorrow, all right? To be really honest, we don't have a problem today, right? But I think we have a problem tomorrow, right? So this is the kind of very vague job descriptors, and very glad there's a team of people who join us, right? And I'm going to fast forward the thing, and since 2017, the team has launched a lot of what we call industry-first product, many of which we have also already taken it off the shelf because it doesn't meet certain needs or it just simply don't have attraction, right? One of the first product I can remember very clearly was we launched a rain insurance product, right? It's a product that covers a ride-hailing fee because whenever it rains in Singapore, the ride-hailing fee would actually just jump up, right? So we found an interesting solution, which until today, I love that product. So basically, you just buy it on a daily basis, and every time you take a ride, if it rains, the thing surge, and we just cover 60% of the fee, right? it is not so much about insurance, right? The product is meant to cover a couple of things. First, we begin to cover risks that is not in the traditional insurance book, right? We begin to cover, is there possibility of cover inconvenience, right? Is it able to get embedded into a consumer lifestyle, right? Rather than you wake up thinking, is it life insurance, health insurance, or motor insurance? So I think that has a very significant impact on how we look at our portfolio as we go on, right? That product is also interesting because it challenges the entire company that's put forward by the team that we form, right? Because the actuarial now struggles how to price this product, right? Because we don't have data, right? So I think it's an important point that this product, why is it so important? Because it begins to anchor how we want this team to run, right? In fact, we want this team to challenge or look at things that was not so easily done, right? I think that was the whole intention. Very happy to say today we have even launched a product in Indonesia. We have also launched a product in Vietnam, right? Is it a big scale? Answer is no, right? But we at least have found like-minded partners, and we are able to bring our capability and experience and enable an insurer out there to launch a product like that, right? Hopefully, we hope to scale the rest of Southeast Asia. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk to you about the rest of the product. This is not my pitch, but really, I think the idea is you will see that we also work with platforms like Grab, Caros, and all. Again, these are not the typical insurance partner, right? In the insurance world, there's only two partners. Either you're a bank or you're a broker, right? But now, I think we have worked with hundreds of partners. We work with cafes, we work with spectacle shops, we work with anyone who thinks that it is able to work with us to distribute digital insurance. On this page, there are many of the products that we have since actually taken it off the shelf, right? I think one of the key points that I'd like to share really is, I think innovation in insurance or in any other fields actually requires a lot of resilience. And this resilience actually also includes the ability to cut loss, right? When do you continue to pivot to make it a success? And when do you decide that enough is enough? It's better to take it off. I think balancing this has been a difficult, not so easy. And a lot of time it depends on experience, it depends on the call, it depends on a very calculated bet to really see it happen. So for us, I think we were successful in some not so. Some we basically take off the shelf and we assure ourselves that maybe timing is off, right? Maybe a year's time we launch again, will be okay. So some of this is yet to be decided. But here we are, I think fast forward to today. I think today Income has an arm under the digital office. Basically we have branded ourselves as Hive by Income. And what Hive is basically we have since consolidated all the capabilities, all the product logics, all the digital insurance that we have launched in Singapore into a platform we call Insurance as a Service platform. And what this platform does is basically now it enables us to work with partners anywhere, right? In Southeast Asia, in Singapore. And in fact, since last year, we begin for the first time after 53 years, we are able to go to the region digitally, right? Without setting up shops. For those who are not in the insurance world, maybe the idea of going to regional for insurer is a very, very difficult one in the traditional brick and mortar world, because other than setting up the shops, you need to get the regulators' approval, and after that, you have to build an army of agents or intermediaries. That is really the heart of a traditional insurer. But what we have today is now we are able to work with an insurer who already have very established shops in the country, right? Who knows the regulation, who has an army of agents, who have intermediaries. And what we do now is basically we bring the product that we have developed and we enable the insurer to go to market fast, right? Using our technology, using our product ideas, and we will connect with the platform partners as well, right? Again, some of the partners we work with in Singapore actually have a regional footprint, and that helps, right? So this is what we are, at least for this arm of it. Of course, we still have a very big traditional insurance that's running, which is the other half of the Income. So coming to sum this all up, right? I think over our transformation journey over the last 6 years, a a few points really comes up, and you would have heard this before, you have read this before, and you have not heard this, then you're going to hear this again today. Really, I think the whole digital transformation, in a very strange way, is really less about tech, right? At the end of the day, really is, we really put people as the most important factor. What are the team that you could gather to challenge the status quo that you're seeing in the industry? The supporters that you're going to get internally in your organization, your stakeholders that's backing you up, the partners, the platform players, and these are all people related, right? And I think this is one of the most important factor, I would think, a key ingredient, right, for a successful transformation, and if not in any industry, really. The second one really is about partnership. I think partnership has been a very, very important element throughout the 6 years of our work. Never had we once, in the past, our partners are, we call distribution partners. Very clear, they distribute our product. But today, when we talk about partnership, we are prepared to share, or we are prepared to collaborate, right, to bring something to the market. And the idea is we don't have to own it, right? This is a very big shift, and I think it is a very important element throughout our journey. The third one, this is really not in order of merits, by the way. I think your entire innovation has to be around the customers. I think we have heard this long enough, and we know this deep in, right? But why is this so important? Is because for our work, at least speaking from an insurance industry again, and hopefully applicable to the rest of the industry, for innovation to work, you are trying to bring a product to the market where the desire of the customer may not be there yet, right? So you're trying to be slightly ahead of time, not too ahead of time, right? And today, it is very, very unlikely when you launch a new business model or a totally brand new product, it is very unlikely to you see a runaway success the next day. It's very unlikely because the market is efficient, right? If it's so simply done, then someone should have done it, right? So I think this is a long journey. And why we think customer focus is important? Because over the last 6 years, me and my team actually, we so-called we found a shortcut, right? How do we go into the heart of this is we begin to look at industries that has already been disrupted, right? Example, the payment industry, the wallets. You think about transportation, 7 years ago versus now, right? I think the ride-hailings are, today everybody is already using them as part of our lifestyle. The entire travel industry has been disrupted. When you look at these disrupted industries, one of the main points is that this thing happened because the consumer behavior has shifted and they have begun to adopt the new business model. And the disruption happens when it happened in a mass of people, right? More people. Now, when that happens, every new behaviors bring a new risk, right? And for us, Insurer, we love risk, right? We are in the business of risk. When we see new behaviors, we see new disrupted behaviors, we love it. Because we begin to see ability to now cover new risks and to bring a new product to the market. And that's how we get inspired here, rather than to try to think what the customer will need tomorrow. In fact, they're already signaling to us when you look at some of these disrupted industries. Okay, I'm going to share in a very quick way 5 of the key lessons, at least I've learned, and hopefully that's be useful to you, or if you could take away one point, I think that would be, I'll be very happy for today's session, really. So one of the key points, don't take this too literally, right? Let me explain. So a lot of time, be it a startup, I'm not a startup, I represent a corporate. Be it you're a startup, you're a corporate. When you want to run a big transformation program, run change management, digitization and all, a lot of time you worry about funding, funds, budget, getting it approved and not. A lot of my experience tells me that actually it is the patience that run out first before the funding, right? And patience here, I really meant it in a good way, right? Patience means today, every time in a management setting, in a board setting, they ask, what do you need? I say, I need patience, right? Because this is a long-term work. This is not something you can achieve overnight, basically. It doesn't matter you get your budget approved or not. If this point is not aligned, you're going to run into the issue the next year, all right? If it's not aligned the next year, you're going to run it, you just kick it down the road, right? So I think this is very, very important, right? It's alignment with stakeholders. that this is a work that you're not going to see immediate success, then the responsibility lies with me and the team to say, how do I position smaller launches? How do I do smaller, celebrate small success to show the work, to show, in a corporate setting, this alignment is important because you would have heard, right? The MVP in corporate means maximum viable product, right? Not minimum, right? And you would run into a lot of issues. You would think that you have done it, you have shown success, but they say, no, there are 100 features that's not there, right? Because in corporate, we are trained, we love perfect products, right? And I think this is important. The second point really is about how do you measure yourself, especially as a unit that sits within a corporate, right? Actually, we share the same metrics, right? The only metric we say is, please don't start with ROI, right? Please don't start with that. If you start with that, chances are you won't start. Because again, like I said, return on investment is really important. That's how corporate decided to invest or not to invest. But a lot of time, there's also this thing called the cost of not doing anything. It's very easy to say, let's not do this, right? Let's not spend this because we don't see the return. But I think at the end of the day, it is ultimately a bet you place for the future, right? And do you start now or do you start later? Or you don't start, but it can be a decision. So again, I cannot say that I know a lot of how startup works, but I think I like the idea about first, you think about how do you get a small group of customers to adopt the product, right? Don't worry about the return. Then how do you perfect the product? How do you make sure that the customer really loves this product so that this small group of people can become a big group of people? And then maybe the immediate target is not about making tons of profits. Maybe how do I get to cost neutral first, right? And then as you scale, how do you drive down the cost? I think I may make it sound simple. I think there's a lot of things that a corporate can learn, really. And I think to start off with a ROI, it is important, don't get me wrong. But to start off with that, I think your conversation is going to be very, very difficult. The third one, I like this the best. I think you talk to anyone, they love the idea, they love the appetite to do a big transformation. But I think you need to have a stomach for that, right? The reason is no different from what I shared the first point, really. The moment you start, you realize it's not just about I want, right? I think you have stakeholders to manage. You have to decide what is the product. You need to know the customers of tomorrow, or at least you need to guess, right? Before you can decide what kind of product to do. How agile are you? Are the team with you? Do you have a group of like-minded people? Are you having a group of like-minded partners? This is really very important to me is if we have not tested that boundary of it, don't start because you're going to get stopped very quickly. Yeah? I'm mindful of my time. I'm going to run even quicker. Okay. Don't immerse yourself in present forward, right? Because for a big transformation program in corporate setting, it is very seductive for you to think about, hey, I have today, how do I improve it? Now, again, don't get me wrong, I think this is very important. This is about optimization, but it's very unlikely that it's going to transform your business, right? This is probably going to get you some incremental value. But if you think about a bigger transformation product or project or a big digital transformation, transforming from a traditional player to a more fintech, insurtech-like companies, I think a big transformation requires a little bit of future back, right? You really need to think about ideally taking away all the industry barriers or practices that has been there for decades. I think you need to have that ability to vision and then work backwards. If you start from present, and it's appealing, right? Because people understand the present and easy to talk to your stakeholders. And likely a present forward project, you're going to get your funding and approval quite quickly because they almost expect the incremental to come in quite quickly. So the ROI is very clear, all right? And this goes back to my earlier point that I shared. That's why it's difficult because what you're trying to share is a vision today where there's no direct path to the success you're trying to lead. Last but not least, really, again, speaking from corporate, we love the idea of doing everything ourselves, owning it, everything ourselves, But I think in this space, we learned that the best thing to do really is to work with people, to bring as many partners as you can. There are people who do certain part of the supply chain better than you do, right? So I urge you to think about what do you build, what do you borrow, what do you buy. I think just by that simple thinking, maybe it can open you up much more options and give you a lot more speed. At least that's how we learn. Okay, I think I'm slightly over time. I apologize for that. So for us, the transformation journey really continues. In the last 1 year, as we bring our insurance as a service platform, we already launch a product in Thailand with a partner. We launched a product in Vietnam. This year, we just launched a product in Indonesia as well. And of course, we are still looking for other Southeast Asia countries, like-minded partners. And we hope to do it, obviously, in a much more strategic way, a much important way. And I really also like to call out, during our journey, I think Plug and Play has been an excellent partner, connecting us to the right partners in the Southeast Asia region. So take the opportunity to say thank you. And this journey continues, right? A transformation journey, like I said, you need to have the stomach for it, because once you start, it's never ending. But of course, my presentation have to end. So I'd like to take the opportunity to wish you all the best in your transformation journey, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Peter. The insurance industry is indeed looking very exciting. Let's have another round of applause for Peter. Okay, while the seats are going to be up on stage, before we begin our Global Innovation Alliance Expo, we have put together a panel session for you today on the topic of empowering innovation ecosystem. Please help me to welcome our first speaker, Clarence Ho, Executive Director of Americas and Europe Division of Enterprise Singapore, and Jojo Flores, co-founder of Plug and Play. Moderating this panel, we have Akito, Chief Business News Correspondent from Nikkei Asia. Now, I'd like to hand over the time to Akito.
Okay. Thank you, Plug and Play, for inviting us, and thank you, Jojo and Clarence, for being here. So, my name is Akito Tanaka, and I'm a Chief Business News Correspondent for Nikkei Asia, and I cover tech and startups in the region. Great. So the title of this session is Empowering Innovation Ecosystem, and we have a brilliant speakers here. We have first Jojo on my right, who is the co-founder of Plug and Play. I believe you're based in Manila.
Yes, I am.
And you just
came back
in Silicon Valley.
Yeah. About 10 years ago, I moved back to Asia, and since my family is in the Philippines, so I live there now.
Great. And we have Clarence Ho, who is the Executive Director for the Americas and Europe Division for Enterprise Singapore. And so we have a very good panelist here representing both private and public. All right. So first of all, to sort of warm up the discussion, I will ask relatively easy question for both of you. I guess first to Clarence, you deal with large companies and startups in the tech ecosystem, both in Europe, US, and obviously you're based in Singapore. You look at players in Singapore as well. Now, comparing from Europe and the US, which people think of has more histories and cultures of the startups, what are the uniqueness and sort of the strengths of startup ecosystem in Southeast Asia?
Well, thanks, Akito, and hi everyone. Pleasure to be here. Just want to thank Plug and Play for the partnership as well. Amazing location. I'm totally baffled and standing in awe. I was based in New York for the last 4 years. I only came back in April. Had the opportunity to look at the various innovation ecosystem as well as encourage Singapore companies to expand internationally, including tapping on markets and regions like the US and Europe as a source of innovation. I think what is clear is that Silicon Valley continues to be a very important hub. It is the place where we could sort of figure out innovation, not just for the US market, but globally. Our experience, therefore, in Silicon Valley has been an amazing one, where we help companies to look at all kinds of sectors in agri-food tech, healthcare, biomedical, a lot of deep tech. But increasingly, we know that there's more than just one node, because each node has its own uniqueness, its own strength and capabilities. With that, we have then mapped out where some of these key capabilities will be relevant for our Singapore companies here. In that same vein, Southeast Asia has its own strength. It is really nestled in the middle. I mean, it is a growing region. It is growing faster. I think this year will even surpass China as a region, right? It continue to be a growing population, continue to have consumers looking for new needs. They are going to be digitally mature. They are going to be looking at new, innovative, novel concepts. And there's also an increasing shift and focus on climate change, which means infrastructure, sustainability will create new opportunities. For those reasons, the innovation ecosystem here reflects similarly. They have its own uniqueness and strength, its own understanding of the corporate's needs in this region, and therefore be actually a very important partner. The ecosystem can become a very important partner to global international firms seeking to expand into this region. And I think I cannot underestimate what I'm saying. For all of us to understand this, there is an increasing interest by companies from the West, and that includes also Western Europe, looking at Asia. And more they're asking us, who can I find as a partner here as innovation? And that shows the power of working with Asia for Asia. Thanks.
Great, thank you. And Jojo, we were speaking this off the stage. The first time I visited Plug and Play was in Silicon Valley. This was more than 10 years back. And I'm looking at how the program has grown is very, very impressive. And congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And from your point, you know, Plug and Play is literally global. You guys are supporting all the global startups and ecosystem. From your perspective, what do you think is the strength and uniqueness of Southeast Asia region as a startup ecosystem?
Thanks for the question, Akito. I think when I think of Southeast Asia or Asia in general, okay, not counting markets like India or China, okay, you think about the size of that market. If I'm not mistaken, whole ASEAN region has about 600 million people. That's almost double the United States, for example, and Europe. So when you think of market size, specific market segments that are untapped, it's Southeast Asia, right? So, and the tendency is for you me from an investor, I look at it from an investor point of view, what is interesting for me in Southeast Asia, especially if there are consumer platforms, you know, or e-commerce platforms. And so I know everybody talks about Web 3 now, you know, as if Web 2 has already gone, but I don't think so. You know, if there are still real, unique value propositions that tap into that consumer market or that specific niche here, I like to look at those companies, right? Now, reality is that, again, my personal view and what I see, reality is still in terms of deeper tech, okay? My tendency is still to look at Silicon Valley startups or European startups. Not to say that we don't have really good deep tech companies here, but you know, when you start comparing, you know, something that comes out of MIT or Stanford versus something that comes out of, and I don't want to name schools on this side of the world, you know, I can't help but see reality and it stands out, right? So there's room for improvement there. But just as an example, For the last 3 years now, we've been a partner of the Alliance to End Plastic Waste, which we run now in about 6 or 7 nodes around the world. And when the search was more deep tech, they just couldn't find it here in Southeast Asia. Again, reality, right? Maybe they would find companies or startups that would do consumer collection or for circular economy. But on the deep tech side, they really couldn't find a lot of startups here that could compete with startups in the US or in Europe. So I think those are the unique characteristics of these markets. But I'm still very bullish, obviously, with Southeast Asia. I mean, just on financial services, for example. I mean, there's still a huge opportunity. I think that's untapped there. Nobody really has broken, for example, or cracked the nut on how to really increase customers on the insurance side. It's still a big opportunity.
Great, thank you. Totally agree. I think there are lots of still big social problems in Southeast Asia, and I believe the startups here are the ones who could change the problem into opportunity, and you guys could support those companies. Now, a little bit more into an interesting, I shouldn't say interesting because it's not really interesting for all the startup people here, but interesting from a journalistic point of view. You mentioned this a bit earlier, but apparently we are seeing downturn in the global venture capital investment. The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, things are happening, a lot of a lot of terrible things are happening in the Valley. And for Southeast Asian startups, this is really their first downturn that they experience. Things has happened in the past. There was a collapse of the internet bubble. This was in the late 90s. There was Lehman shock. This was in mid 2000. And then, Americans and the Europeans and the other Asian, like Chinese or Japanese in that perspective, have experienced this downturn. But really, Southeast Asia tech ecosystem has been sort of everlasting summer, but then now suddenly we're in the funding winter. Now, what are you seeing, both of you? And what advice would you give to, I guess, for Clarence, to a startup ecosystem itself, and for Jojo, to all the startups? What advice would you give them? First, from Clarence, please.
Sure. Yes, we do observe that the investment appetite, first of all, is affected. I think this is what everyone is experiencing. What it just means is that, and what we notice is liquidity may seem to be not there, but it's there. So it's just a shift in the investors' preference towards something that turns, that when they see a business, it is more profitable. So your time to get profits and revenue becomes key. So what we have noticed is that companies are changing, are accelerating their shift towards reducing costs and increasing revenue. You have read this in the papers. There's one big company here, C Group, right, has really looked at tightening their belts, choosing to close down certain operations, even as far as Latin America, just to be able to manage their profits. And I think what, as a reflection, is that we just have to change the pace and be able to assure our investors. I like what Peter said, right? Go with the patience of the investor. So work with the investor and address those. So from an ecosystem point of view, what can we do? Number one, ensure that there is constant still availability of financing where needed. So at Enterprise Singapore, do continue to work with partners on co-investment funding. Second, we need to connect more. We need to make sure that while some regions have opportunities to help startups gain profitability, we build the bridge. So adding on one point that I think Southeast Asia startups are very good in, they are very good in operating in a fragmented environment. we found this to be excellent capability to access actually Latin American markets. They are telling us that they would prefer to work with Southeast Asian startups than with Silicon Valley startups because they understand the fragmentation of the region. So these are very unique capabilities, which shows that only if our startups are plugged in, are aware, they can then also grow as a result. So I'll say these are the two most important from an ecosystem point of view.
Great, thanks. And Jojo, what are you hearing and what advice would you give them?
Well, these downturns, these crises, it's not the first time, right? And it's going to happen again. And every time it happens, instead of reacting to it, I think what we recommend to startups, what I personally recommend to startups is I agree with Clarence with everything that he said. And also, this is really the time when you have to be focused on being cash flow positive because, like in any business, cash is king, right? And having a clear path to profitability and being able to show that to your team, well, first to yourself as the founder, to your team, and to your customers and to your investors. The investors, of course, will, before calling them, I think you have to kind of tell them, don't worry, this is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to remain cash flow positive. This is how we're going to, become profitable. What's important during these times is that you display traction, especially if you are still fundraising. Okay, that's key. So it has to. The business isn't really real until you have customers and paying customers. Okay, this is a time for you to be looking at what the aside from traction is also business model, right? You have to be able to display that this is how much it costs to run your business, this is how much revenue you can generate, and this is how much margins you can realize. So that has to be clear. The business model has to be clear as well. And one other thing, maybe, it's not so common, but, during these times is when you also test the stability of the team. People will, the ones that are not fully committed, suddenly they leave and, so I like to see stability in the team, right? And I think that's very important during these times. Now, if you're raising money, if you can hold out, because during these times the valuations should be lower than normal, right? So if you can hold out, I shouldn't say that as an investor, right? But if you can hold out on raising, hold off on it, right? If you will raise money, let's say a bridge round or something, really try to get it from your old investors and from new ones, because the new ones will drive down the cost. The valuation more than the present ones. So but again, probably it's not a very good advice, but make sure that you're clear with your buzzwords too. You know what's popular. So if you can add AI into your deck, some people are laughing because they probably are doing it without even knowing how they're going to build that AI part of their product, or sustainability, so these things are really nice buzzwords and so.
Agree. I now add not just consumer, but I put conscious consumer because they are into sustainability and wellness, right? So got to put these words in.
All right. So very practical advice from Jojo. And you know who to email or WhatsApp or whatever with.
Not me, Jupe.
Jupe is here.
Jupe has the money. I'm just the pom-pom girl.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. Now, if we could expand a little bit wider to a ecosystem. In the past, many other regions, countries, or places have tried to replicate Silicon Valley, and they were trying to create their version of Silicon Valley. I think Southeast Asia has come very far, and as we can see, in the venue, we have a very good and vibrant ecosystem. You touched on this, Jojo, a little bit about deep tech. Maybe it's easier to find deep tech related companies in the Valley rather than in Southeast Asia. But when you're trying to build an ecosystem, you need first talent. So we have to have a good entrepreneur. We have to have good CFO, legal people who are willing to work, take risk, and work in the startup ecosystem. We need finance. So we have to have a good venture capital, corporate venture capital, or public sector like Enterprise Singapore. And we have to have a technology that you mentioned. This could come from universities or from large companies, spin out, whatever. Now, if we look at Southeast Asia, what are we missing to become more vibrant and strong ecosystem? Talent, I see a lot. Money, it's decreasing, but still there. Well, what do you see?
Actually, I don't see that I think Southeast Asia is actually in a very good position. What it probably, and why do I say it's in a very good position? Really from what we've been working on, also with the recent change in the macro and geopolitical environment, there are a few regions that have been standing out a lot more because there's a need to ensure economic resilience. There's a need to look at also ensuring certain regions have their own strategic capabilities. So there are shifts. And these shifts, from at least my personal view, are going to show 3 regions coming out very strong. And this is just a personal view, right? It's not Enterprise Singapore's view. First is Mexico, because of how the North American market is going to shape up. Next is slightly India, because of also when you look at its demographic profile and its current politics, it shows very good potential to compete as a manufacturing base. And it has a huge market. The next one is actually Southeast Asia. And Southeast Asia is nestled with a mix of things working for its advantage. Big market, close to also big markets, well-connected, financing, they are streaming in. Of course, the investment numbers are down because of the current economic situation. Strong manufacturing base, and very innovative entrepreneurial spirit that still can compete quite globally. I will always stand amazed that there are still many startups that we have seen take their stand and can compete as well as any other countries that are known to be very top. So my personal sense is that we are actually in a very good position. What can we do more of? I'll come back to a few key points. But the most important is building bridges. Building bridges to connect for purpose of knowing what's out there, commercial partnerships, and also access to new funds. For those reasons, that's why we're happy to extend our partnership with Plug and Play. I think it was just announced that we have a third partnership, which is in San Francisco. We believe that is going to be a very important point for us to reconnect the innovation deep tech, the funding, as well as the market to Singapore and for Southeast Asia as a region.
Great. Jojo?
As they say, it takes a village to kind of, take care of a child kind of thing. So that village, for me, if I look at it, there's the universities, and I think we have good universities here, right, that produce good entrepreneurs as well as good tech talent. Government also plays a vital role, and we see it here in Singapore very actively. We are starting to see it in other parts of Southeast Asia. I have here guests from the government in the Philippines, and I hope when we go back home, they'll have a more concrete program together. Little pitch there. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Congressman. Then there's investors. I don't think there's really lack of money. Of course, there's more money in Silicon Valley, but we don't lack money here, right? But if there's one missing, it's not missing, but we need more of, is corporate engagement. Okay? We see it every day in Europe and in North America, where in their own startup ecosystems, where corporate is really more engaged, okay, then the innovation is much more accelerated. Okay. Maybe not in Singapore, okay, but in many markets in Southeast Asia, the conglomerates are owned by families, by wealthy families. And the first initial strategy of these families, as pointed out by our keynote earlier, is to do it themselves. Okay? And I don't want to say that collaboration is not part of our DNA. I mean, I don't know if that is real or not, but I want to be positive and say it's not, right? I'm sure the conglomerates here want to collaborate. They just haven't found the probably the manner on how to do it effectively and efficiently. So hopefully it gets there, but it is very important for industry leaders, and these conglomerates to be part of the whole innovation process in accelerating the deployment of the best product possible. We saw this in Stuttgart. I don't know if you guys know where Stuttgart is. I didn't know until about 5 years ago when we started working with Daimler. Okay? At first, they wanted to do it on their own. Remember, Jupe? You know, in 2016, they did it on their own. And we ran Startup Autobahn with them alone, right? It took them about a year or two until we finally convinced them, you know, for this whole innovation platform to work for you guys, it has to be open. Okay? So we did bring in other partners, other brands, other competitors into the platform. Today, they have more than 40 corporate partners there, and it is the best innovation platform in the industry of automotive or mobility. And we've seen startups, you know, POCs the figures go rocket high. You know, the engagement is so much more vibrant, okay? And the innovation that the startups that they engage in, they get into the cars quicker. So, the chairman Seche himself, and now the new one at Daimler says, you know, this is one of our best experiences. You know, and it's not just them, but the other car manufacturers.
Agree. Open innovation with large corporations. Clarence, you have something to say, right?
Yeah, I do. In fact, I think that's an excellent point. I just want to second that totally. Where I'm a bit also optimistic is that we are seeing an increasing corporate engagement here. So we have seen Siam Cement really leading some of the efforts in Thailand. We have seen also the Salim Group stepping up in corporate innovation and involving the ecosystem. And here's where I made a pitch. Because Enterprise Singapore do have a platform, the Open Innovation Network, which really encourages corporates to come, list your problem statements there, and be able to then draw on the various multiple proposals which actually the startups in this region and globally could actually put up too. And also we have the Singapore Week of Innovation and Tech. This year is going to be held 30th October to 5th November. It is going to be one of the Global Asia Innovation platform, and that's where we will also have a Sustainability Open Innovation Challenge. And again, corporates that are interested to look for new solutions to address their climate change or decarbonization efforts can tap on those platforms. So just want to add that on. Thanks.
Great. And I'm sure there are lots of corporate participants at this venue. So if you could reach out to Clarence, he will find a right startup or technology to partner with. All right. There's a menacing timer that says we only have less than 2 minutes left. I wanted to ask more questions, but unfortunately I can't. One last question would be verticals. What verticals are you interested in presently? Let's say Southeast Asia. First from you, Jojo.
Well, I think it is pretty obvious financial services is still a big thing for us. But, one big, it covers a lot of topics, but the area of sustainability. You got carbon neutrality, you got water resilience, you have circular economy, you have renewable energies. We even have shelter tech now, as well as fashion tech under sustainability. But I know that I do realize that still a lot of the companies in Asia don't really understand sustainability. But again, it's instead of doing nothing about it, I think you have to start looking into it at the very least, right? So sustainability is one important thing again, as well for us here in Southeast Asia, I think.
Clarence?
Totally agree. I mentioned just now the characteristics on the demand of this region. So the few key themes I think will really stand out will be new innovation in consumer engagement. And that has to be enabled by digitalization. And it should be also addressing health and wellness. So there will be a greater look at the potential investments into healthcare, biomedical, or biopharmas. Sustainability, I will look at it also from the aspects of infrastructure. So e-mobility, I think, will continue to get its traction. There will be then the surrounding that covers e-mobility as well. In addition to that, clean energy. And lastly, I think what we shouldn't forget simply is food, because every Singaporean loves food, right? And this region loves food. So we believe agri-food is going to be a growth vertical as well. Yeah.
Right. Thank you both for wonderful discussion.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Plug and Play, for hosting the event. And I will hand the mic over to Karina. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Akito, Clarence, and Jojo. And as promised, the panel session has indeed many practical and exciting talking points. Okay, so now to kickstart our Global Innovation Alliance Expo, just want to give you a quick program overview as well as to share some updates. So as mentioned earlier, Plug and Play partners with Enterprise Singapore to run the Global Innovation Alliance program. We are running it in Manila as well as in Jakarta. And as mentioned in the earlier announcement, as well as in the panel session, Plug and Play will also be running the US program. So in Q3 this year, the GIA US program will be run by Plug and Play. All right, so some key numbers. The past 3 years, Plug and Play have been an exciting journey for us. We have worked with a total of 167 startups that went through the GIA Jakarta and the Manila program. So I'm very excited to share that we have a total of 55 successful case studies. And as mentioned earlier, we will also be running the GIA US program. So if you're a startup that would like to find out more about the US market, Philippines, or Indonesia, do get connected to any one of us here from Plug and Play. And once again, my name is Karina, and now I hand over the time to our program manager, Shreya, to take us through the GIA startup pitches. Shreya, please.
Thank you, Karina. A very good morning, everyone. It's lovely to see a very full house this morning. My name is Shreya, and I'm Program Manager for the GIA Manila program. Kicking off the very first segment for the day, I hope all of you are excited, as I am, to hear the lineup of pitches that we have installed for you from the 5th batch of the GIA Manila program. If you'd like to get connected with any of our startups today, a simple step, just turn your name tags, and there is a QR code behind. You may scan the QR code and indicate which startups you're interested to meet. And post-summit, we will then make an email introduction to all of you. From the GIA Manila program, we have a total of 9 startups today pitching here from various tech verticals. And to get the ball rolling, let's welcome our very first startup, WeScale Labs. Gus, please.
Thank you. So Rescale Lab is an operational efficiency platform for skill enablement. People, they are the biggest assets of every company, and we spend a lot of money onboarding and training them every year. In fact, 85% of those training material gets forgotten within the first 3 months, and that is a real problem. Why isn't that solved yet? Because a lot of the operational processes that is being laid in place today is not catered for tracking the insights of the learning efficiency. And therefore, we built Rescale Lab, which is a platform for power up skills development. We integrated some of the key functionalities that trainers relied for consuming and delivering insights with their learners, as well as embedded and integrated AI functionality in order for gathering global information, as well as supporting trainers on curriculum development and learners on sourcing for expert advice. Meanwhile, all of that is happening. There's a lot of data and insight that is being captured that is important for us to know at what point should the trainers intervene at the right time for the right reason. This is a case study with one of the large corporations, which they had to train more than 100 participants. The budget was about 300,000. And in fact, throughout the entire process, while they used Rescale Lab, we were able to track the information on their collaboration, their commitment, and communication. And that resulted in a 1.6 million in new projects that was generated out of a 3-month program. So it's not used for every type of training, but some of the most complex and harder to manage type of training are the best use cases for Rescale Lab, such as entrepreneurship development, digital transformation, R&D development, as well as cross-functional communication for upskilling staff. And so we are bootstrapped. We do have, this is the first time we're opening up for external investors. We've been growing quite steadily, and thanks to Plug and Play, we've been expanding into Indonesia and Manila. And in fact, we are part of this cohort. So we are fundraising. If you are an investor and you're looking to invest in a data-driven, AI-backed startup that it's fast-growing, we'd love to talk to you. Our booth is just outside. So this is me. I've been over the past 6 years developing curriculum and content as a lead instructor in quite a number of institutions in Singapore, as well as 15 years in business development. And my co-founder and CTO has been developing SaaS software for enterprises over the past 10 years. And we are supported by 2 advisors who have skin in the game, and they are very well connected in the education sector as well as the industry. And so this is us. Thank you so much. We are Rescale Lab, and it's an operational efficiency tracking system for trainers and learners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gus. And second in line this morning is Intercorp. Intercorp provides cloud-based workplace and workforce management solutions for enterprises through cutting-edge biometrics, video analytics, and IoT technologies, helping them better manage their workplace. Let's hear more from Kelvin.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Kelvin, CEO and founder of Intercorp. So basically, Intercorp, we're a workplace and workforce company based in Singapore. We are in the enterprise cloud SaaS as well as IoT space. We're industry agnostic. We do all kinds of industry. Any place that have a workplace and people, we are their potential solution provider. So basically, we built a SaaS system. We have the IoT. So we really bridge IoT, which in a lot of cases, startups or software companies don't really want to touch like hardware, but we really get our hands dirty. We actually have the AI to do facial recognition. We're one of the pioneers in bringing biometrics into Singapore. And we start building our AI, and we realize that there are so many best-of-breed technologies out there. So what we do instead is to aggregate an ecosystem of technologies with partners, bring the best-of-breed hardware technologies as well as AI technologies as part of our solution set that we provide the solution to the clients. we've worked with many government agencies, LTA being one of our largest client. We are now working with them on 32 stations across Singapore on all their MRT stations. And we work with some of the best brands in the world in terms of hardware, such as Cisco, Hikvision, Huawei, Sisense, we're headquartered in Singapore. We have a branch office in India. Regionally, we're looking at Southeast Asia as a whole. And we're looking like in Philippines, we found great success there, partnerships there, and in Vietnam as well. So really want to be a one-stop solution. We want to provide this enterprise ERP or SaaS platform for clients whereby they just have one-stop vendor that manages both software and hardware. And the key thing is that we are able to create a service layer that manages all our partners' hardware and enable them to talk to one another. So we do a lot of stuff, even from basic stuff like access control to HR stuff, even productivity. We're quite big in construction productivity in Singapore, as well as visitor management, self-service as well. And we've got about 300,000 daily users with 2,000 system admins. And we are ISO certified as well. So these are some of our key clients. Happy to see NTUC, FairPrice here as well. So that's our clients. So these are some of our interfaces, both web and mobile app. Self-service is a big thing nowadays with mobile workforce. And we're really into this space of enterprise biometrics and IoT. So our ARR is about 52%. So this is something that we are growing, and our partners love it as well because we introduce an ARR model to their very typical traditional business model. And we're actually a very proven team in Singapore, with a long track record and a very stable team. So that's all I have. Hope to speak to more of you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. Next up, we have Nexus Wall. Nexus Wall is helping businesses achieve their sustainability goals using their proprietary technology. Let's welcome Paritosh.
Thank you for the opportunity. Nexus World provides digital infrastructure to automate the path towards sustainability for their clients. The problem that we are solving is mostly the solutions are expensive, the deployment is slow, it takes time, and solutions are mostly generic in nature, not catered to the specific requirements of the business, leading to incomplete disclosures and larger disincentive. It becomes more a cumbersome activity rather than something that that they are looking forward to. So that's what the problem is. How do we solve it? For our clients, we replace a lot of analog systems, mostly Excel sheets. We do away with all the Excel sheets, and we integrate with some of the systems that are difficult to do away with. So what do? We automate, we become the database of their choice. We bring in the data governance. We ensure that, every single piece of information is, be it a data or a metadata, is tagged, stored, and reproduced at will. So, just imagine, rather than simply accounting for all the information, why don't you just, make sustainability a fun activity? While you are buying something, while you're selling something, you're operating on a system, automatically the engines are aligned where, be it GHG protocol, be it ISO 14060, where every emission factor associated with every activity that you're doing produces the emission accountability, and thus automating the reports to the various stakeholders, be it buyers, supplier, banks, whoever you have to produce that information. That's just one example. Our deployment time cycle ranges from a couple of weeks to a month's time, and that's the speed which we operate with. Market size, we are targeting the resource-based industry, where, of course, the big players have the time and patience to, focus on how they want to operate on their systems, and they have the necessary resources to deploy for that. In the resource-based industry, the long-tail enterprises who are a very important part of the entire supply chain, they do not have access to that kind of resource. That's where we step in. This is the market sizing that we have done. And we are focusing primarily on Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia to begin with. In our line of sight, I think we have clients to take care of all the requirements. How do we acquire customers? We latch on to our partner network, and we ensure that we acquire those main clients, engage with them, and target their supply chain. Yeah, some of this early success that we have got, thanks to Enterprise Singapore, we participated in the challenge. We won the challenge, and that's how we got our first large client. And through that large client, not only we have access to their supply chain, they've also taken us to various these brands, and then we are talking to them and starting to target their supply chain, their long tail set of supply chain partners, and transforming them digitally. Here's a team, a well-rounded team with tech background, credit, banking, all what is required. We are there. And why Nexus World? Agility, rapid development, data-driven sustainability, collaborative ecosystem, resilience, and future-proofing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paritosh. Our next startup is Singapore's fastest growing Android POS with over 500 outlets achieved in a year. Let's welcome Sean to share more about Lunchbox.
Thank you, Sheha. Good morning, my name is Sean Marcus Lee from Lunchbox. We're a smart restaurant management solution. So we are a very boring business. We are very unsexy. We hide behind all the restaurants, but we're a 149 billion industry. A lot of restaurants use systems, but we realized that 69% use more than one software to manage their solution. So there is a huge gap here. In between is the brain, which is Lunchbox. We connect all the front of house tools from your self-ordering kiosks, number call, e-menu, customer facing, all into one. And we connect all your back of house softwares together as well. Not only do we give you operational efficiency, we connect you directly to your customers. Imagine now a long queue. Instead of actually standing there, you can just scan the QR, order, and pay. It goes straight into the system and straight into the kitchen itself, reducing the need for a cashier, reducing the need to even queue. So this is a typical situation in a restaurant. I can see some of you guys smiling there because it's true. I have one point of sales, I have 200 different devices. It doesn't make sense. What we did is we integrated all the tools together into one. So all your 3PLs into a middleware connected together into payments end to end. So you notice we are no longer just a point of sales, we are a smart end-to-end solution. So we put it to the test. Our restaurants is 62% more efficient, and that's a huge number. Efficiency aside, we can reduce you up to 50% of manpower. We understand that Singapore manpower is expensive and Southeast Asia is not, but it's not so much of costs. It's also the heartache and the pain of actually managing and training these guys. Altogether, you add up, we are 23% more profitability, and that's huge in terms of the F&B industry. So because of our tools and efficiencies, we're very happy for Enterprise Singapore, thank you. And with IMDA, together with Plug and Play, we are part of the pre-selected of the IMDA Productivity Solutions Grant. So last year we closed with about 500 outlets as of 2022, and we achieved profitability already as a one-year startup. This year, at our second year, as of today, we hit about 1,100 merchants already on board, with international brands coming into Southeast Asia. So with a key partnership together with Nets, we are very proud to say that we are all in one payment together, fully certified and fully MES regulated. So the roadmap and the growth is to hit 20,000 outlets, and we're way on track of where we are in the next 3 years. So there's a lot of activity going on in this industry right now, and we believe that we are poised to be the one in Southeast Asia to achieve it. Our team itself, I'm a repeated founder. I had 2 exits before, and my team, my CTO as well, exited in our last startup together. So we have a lot of showcases, and recently we just won the best digital productivity solution for restaurants. So it takes 10 years to get any startup right. We did our deals already with experienced team. We exited a similar business with great traction coming ahead, and we believe that this is where we are poised to take over. So we are looking for key merchants, strategic partnerships, and fundraise. And if this is where you are aligned to, please join me and do more with Lunchbox. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sean. I always love your energy. All right, up next, we have Storewise. Storewise is an intelligent collaboration platform that helps retailers deliver consistency and outstanding in-store customer experience. Let's welcome Damien up on stage.
Thank you, Sheha. Good morning, everyone. This is Jane, and Jane is not very happy. You can tell, right? She's just back from a trip at the shop around the corner and she had a terrible experience. And chances are that 50% chances are that actually she'll never go back to that store ever. In fact, it's 5 times cheaper to keep a customer like Jane happy than to acquire a new one, according to the Harvard Business Review. So retail teams are the face of the business, and they carry the brand day to day. And what they deliver, what they do, they can make it and they can break it. Why is it so hard? What happens backstage and what happens on stage when they are running on the shop floor? The consistency is hard to achieve. It's a human business. Why should we care? There are actually 50 million employees working in the retail industry in ASEAN alone, across close to 5 million retail outlets. It's growing 4 times faster here in Asia than it's growing in the rest of the world. But 60%, up to 60% of retail employees actually tend to leave very quickly after having been onboarded and trained. That's a huge problem. There are solutions out there to help organize work day to day in a store. But they are either consumer tools or they are enterprise tools, great for desk-based workers. How about the deskless worker who are on the go all the time, not have a corporate email address, no corporate phones, limited bandwidth, potentially work offline as well. So we are introducing Storewise as an open, intelligent collaboration platform that helps retail teams to stay on brand and manage day-to-day activities by digitizing their operations and help organize work. We've packed it with simple to use, easy to deploy features, easy to adopt as well. We've infused AI to help, from computer vision to large language models, to help sales associates on the ground to access information and product knowledge, operating procedures, as well as customer management skills to access all that knowledge at their fingertip. And we've achieved that in a way to help them achieve and solve immediate problems immediately. We've packed it with best practices, templates, so they can be up to speed very quickly, from employee onboarding to detecting issues and fixing issues quickly in their day-to-day operations. Although we launched Storewise only a few months ago, we started a while ago as data consultants, and that's how we've uncovered a lot of these operational efficiencies. Data and automation will not solve the problems until the foundation are right. And that's how we started Storewise and work with a number of brands and retailers across the region to deploy that. As a team, we are on a mission to help brick and mortar retailers to transform and evolve so they can strive. We know retail is the social fabric that actually helps connect our neighborhood and our cities for people to shop, to connect, and to meet. And so for us, it's an important mission that we're on right now, and we're looking for partners, corporate investors, to help us join us in this mission. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Damien. Up next, let's now hear from Enbuilt. Enbuilt is transforming the traditional way of rental into just a few clicks. Let's find out more from co-founder and CEO Kek. Come on up with stage, Kek.
Yeah, thanks for the stage. Yeah, I'm Kek. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Enbuilt.com. We are the marketplace for all B2B equipment rentals. So there is easily more than 100 billion of rental transactions around the world every year. And less than 1% is actually go through online. That's mean 99% is still transacting very manual. So what happened is our job is actually to convert this 99% of offline rental to online. So instead of traditional ways of sourcing the equipment by email, calling, clarification, and negotiation, you can actually just log onto our website, sign up an account, search, compare, and rent your preferred equipment in just a few clicks. Yes, just a few clicks. So why users want to rent from us is because we help them to discover the best rental rates. We have the insurance to protect equipment damage during the entire rental period. 100% transparency, extremely fast and easy, and last but not least, they can rent as short as 1 day. So we are a marketplace. We need to motivate another side of the rental partner as well. So we are helping the rental company to increase their sales and utilization with totally zero upfront costs. And we guarantee their rental payment. And last but not least, we also have the insurance to protect their equipment safety during the entire rental period. We started since COVID. This is how we grow since COVID. We grow 3 times that we achieved 1.6 million of GMV last year compared to 2021. Up to today, we have 600 business customers that actually use our platform to search for the equipment that what they need. And 50% of them will always come back to rent from us. So we are not just a matchmaking system. That we are also launching our rental manager system as well to help the rental company to do their rental business better, and also to help our rental user, right, to better manage their rental fleet during the entire periods. And we are also in the plan to launch the buy and sell as well to help our rental partner to sell the second-hand equipment as well. So our vision is in the next 5 years, we want to become a pioneer and the leader in creating the largest B2B rental platforms in the regions. We have a team of 15 that is driving this idea forward. So we are also very lucky to be invested by some visionary investors as well. So lastly, just think about how we ran a hotel 20 years back, right? So we walk in, we call travel agents, right? We emails, right? And 20 years right now, the way how you rent a hotel is totally changed, right? 99% you are renting a hotel through online. So we believe the equipment rental industry is exactly 20 years back of hotel industry. There's going to be a very big change in the behavior how people rent equipment in the next 3, 5, or 10 years. And we want to become a pioneer to actually push this forward. So if there's any strategy investor or strategy partners that want to speak with us, please come to our booth or even scan the barcode and connect with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk. All right, moving on, we now have Chameleon, a startup that provides hyper-personalized and global wealth management solutions by integrating data intelligence with portfolio optimizers and risk analytics for front and back office solutions. Introducing Dr. Kim Hua.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Hua. I'm a CEO founder of Chameleon. The name Chameleon is inspired by the adaptive nature of chameleon and my alma mater, the University of Cambridge. So what do? We build your global wealth manager on a turnkey, hyper-personalized, optimized, individual optimized, and sustainability-ready manner. Why? Because 82% of wealth managers want product personalization, and the hyper-personalization part of it is costly. We deliver such hyper-personalization at scale. The current solutions are inefficient and costly, and when it's costly, it's difficult to retain your clients. And with production costs of strategies being slow, it is difficult to get new revenue. So with our multi-asset, multi-currency global platform that integrates front, back office, and marketing, we are able to provide AI personalized advisory that can be profitable even for a few $1,000s and is quick for you to launch. And with this, obviously, you will be able to cut costs and launch your products as well as getting analytics. So we service clients across different operations and options. With our multi-asset global coverage, we are able to hyper-personalize with different types of optimizers and then create different types of strategies, whether it's a sustainable or conventional strategies, and then allow you to deliver it in different manners to suit your clients. Whether your clients are traders, early career professionals, mass affluent, high net worth, or institutional clients, there will be a solution or strategy that we can provide you. We offer a full-scale wealth management platform that seamlessly integrates with our partners' process. So we work with clients on a pay-as-you-go basis. It's starting from marketing to creating of the ideas of the strategy, to optimizing the portfolio, to sending your trades to the broker, to servicing the clients, as well as getting the insights to understand your clients and the products. And all this can be done on a single scalable platform that can be white labeled. So our proven flexible platform can be used in different manners. For example, in fund management, and we are glad that one of the partners that we are working with has outperformed the market. With family offices, with private bankers, as well as with brokers. We work on a pay-as-you-go manner, and we have received international awards from London, Middle East, and Asia. So make more with us. By us, we are able to provide better, faster, and smarter solutions. We can hyper-personalize for each one, as well as for you to launch your strategies in minutes. There's zero risk, you can be profitable, as well as we are sustainability ready. So starting from a wealth management perspective, you are able to have the multi-assets solutions delivered depending on your client, depending on different types of strategies, scale it up with our back office, and get data intelligence insights from and make better decisions. Our team, we have 3 Cambridge PhDs, including 2 industry practitioners, and we are looking for strategic partners and investors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kim Kwa. Calling on our second last startup, we have Cover Now, an Insurtech startup that creates simplified insurance products, putting the user in control of their protection needs and timing. Let's welcome Stefan.
Thank you. Good morning. So I need to change a little bit around on what I wanted to talk to you about, because the keynote speech and Jojo's excitement about consumer solutions kind of takes half of what I wanted to talk to you about, but maybe it helps to take a look at that. Just this slide, and maybe what Peter and I can take away from it, him sitting in a corporate, me being a startup, we're both not crazy that insurance distribution has a problem because it hasn't moved, in contrast to all other financial services, really on an app basis and is not integrated in a proper way. So that's what we do at Cover Now in Southeast Asia, based over here. And because you've seen so many slides where nothing happened, why don't we look at one, how your next travel insurance could actually practically look like. Peter was talking a lot about corporate stuff. This is what he could have built in the meantime. And we're done. We didn't speed that up. So that's the live speed of the app if you want to buy travel insurance on the spot. A friend of mine did that last night because he forgot to buy his. This is what we're about. We're thinking about insurance products in a very simplified way. And the way we think about it is decompartmentalizing, making them small, making them bite-sized, making them 24/7, and have the entire insurance chain in one app. We're also contrarian compared to many other things that happen in Southeast Asia, in insurance and Insurtech in particular. Most of the stuff that happens on platforms is aggregation. We're specialists. We don't think that 5 motor policies are more exciting than one. So if we ever did motor policies, which we will only do for electric vehicles, you will only have one choice, and that hopefully is a good and a fast one. So the idea is, again, I'm changing my presentation a little bit around. We do the full cycle, so you don't get only part of the value chain, you get the entire value chain, you get all of that in-app. And with 35 seconds to go, I just go on this slide. So you see our team, and I have 3 propositions for you for the rest of the day. We'd love to talk to you about taking Cover Now abroad. If you think you can help us with that and you're interested in that, we'd love to talk to you about this. We have a new partnership program, which helps us in our distribution. If you do own a retailer and you think that that retailer could benefit from insurance services added to that, we'd love to talk about that as well. And if you plan to buy a travel insurance, we have some discount for you as well. Thank you for that, and I wish you all a good day.
Thank you, Stefan. I guess I know what I'm doing this weekend, buying insurance review. Okay, and finally, to wrap up the GIA Manila segment, we have LeapAd. LeapAd is an early-stage fintech startup founded in Singapore and currently focused on the Philippines market. They set about solving the problem of the lack of alternatives for tertiary education students to finance their education. Let's welcome Ivan.
Thank you, Seha. So my name is Ivan. I'm one of the co-founders of LeapAd, which is a fintech startup that was born in Singapore, but which main market is the Philippines. The problem we're trying to solve is a very important one. There are many tertiary education students that make it all the way till the last year of their education, only to have to drop out because of lack of funds. That, of course, is a huge loss of income for them, and opportunities, but not only for them, but for the society as a whole. So how are we solving this problem? We partner with some of the most important names in the education industry in the country, and together with them, we are identifying those students at risk of dropping out. And once we identify them, we run them through our platform, where we assign them a credit score. Our credit scoring system is based on skills, soft and hard, but it's not based on traditional indicators such as credit history or income level. Once we select those students that fit what we are looking for, we give them a loan and they're able to continue paying for their education. The way we are funding, we are building our loan book is a combination between grants, our own funds, and also venture debt. And our business model is quite simple. We make a fee, we take a fee from the funds that we manage and also from the interest rates of the students when they pay them back. The market size, just to give you an idea, only the Philippines, we estimate that more than 100,000 students could benefit from our services. But if we extrapolate that to the whole region, at least we can 10x that number. Our company traction to date, we have achieved a lot. First of all, regulations. We meet all the regulations to operate in the Philippines. We have a lending license. Our tech platform is up and running. We are able to screen as many students as we need. We have signed agreements with different institutions in the country, more than 15, to have access to all those students. And last but not least, we have already disbursed more than 500,000 pesos, and we are collecting repayments on some of those loans. We are currently fundraising with one clear goal, which is growth. We have the team, we have what is needed, now we need to grow. Lastly, just to present the team, funding team, combination of skills and experience that are making this venture successful. Namely banking and finance, platform and technology, and education. So if you're interested about what we do, we're very happy to talk to any of you. Please go see us to our booth and let's have a chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ivan. Let's give a round of applause to our GIA Manila program startups once again. Well done, startups. All right, if you'd like to connect with our startups after the event, please indicate your interest just behind your name tag. You may also visit them at the booths. And for those of you who are startups here and interested to joining the Manila program, feel free to approach myself. The applications are open for the 6th batch. And yeah, if you have any questions about the Manila program, feel free to approach myself or our team. And with that, I'll now pass over the mic to Nico for the next segment. Nico, please.
Thank you, Shiha. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nico Santa. I am the Program Associate for the GIA Jakarta. Our next speeches came from GIA Jakarta program with 8 startups presenting in a moment. But before we start, if you would like to get connected with our startup, please scan the barcode in front, or you can scan the barcode on the back of your name tag. Then, let's kick off our startup pitchings. Bringing you the first startup, we have 6 Estate. 6 Estate is a document AI solution provider from Joint AI Research Center by National University of Singapore and Tsinghua University. 6 Estate IDP platform leverage multilingual NLP, machine reading comprehension technologies to enable template-free data extraction from structured, semi-structured, and also unstructured documents. Please, Hartini, welcome to the stage.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hart. I'm the Chief of Staff at 6 Estates, and we're an enterprise AI company focused on document processing solutions. We exist because despite all the incredible technology developments you've seen today, entire industries and functions are still hindered by manual document processing. It's tedious, time-consuming, and error-prone. We see this in financial services, with lenders dealing with credit analysis. We see this with trade, shipping, and logistics companies with cross-document matching and rules checks. We still see it across a whole bunch of other industries in their back offices. So finance teams, procurement, and all that, dealing with lots and lots of manual document reconciliation. As an AI research team, we wanted to bring our technology to the industry and find ways to actually apply it to actual business uses. We came out of the AI Research Center started by NUS in Tsinghua. And now we aspire to be the answer to all document processing needs for companies, starting with Southeast Asia. Now you're thinking, document processing sounds a lot like OCR, but it's not. Machine reading comprehension is kind of the next generation of OCR, which is technology that's been around for decades. It's significantly more adaptable and self-learning and flexible, and it's able to handle unstructured documents seamlessly so that companies can just trust the end result will be something they can immediately use in their businesses. It's also self-learning over time, which I'll talk about a little bit more. So based on this core technology of machine reading comprehension backed by a large language model, we built this intelligent document processing platform. It's something really easy for companies to just use immediately, and it offers a range of standard tools for their document processing needs. On top of this platform, we've also built domain-specific solutions for lenders as well as for companies in logistics, trade, and shipping. And it's structured in a way that's very easy for them to seamlessly fit into existing workflows. We also are able to deliver the most accurate results in the market for a document processor because we have our human-in-the-loop team. This is our local, it's a local capability based in the markets that we serve. And their goal is to make sure that the data that is almost perfect from AI is made completely perfect by our people. And so the companies can trust that our results is something they can use immediately. I'm gonna skip all that. So we've launched this version of our solution mid last year, and since then we've onboarded about 15 customers in Southeast Asia. We've been able to prove our solution by helping them grow their growth as well as to increase their efficiency in their companies. And I love to chat a bit more about this with you. We have the right team to deliver this solution with a deep bench of experts across AI as well as commerce. And we are actually fundraising now, but we're almost closing around. But that being said, we are really, really excited to speak to more potential customers and partners. So please drop by the booth. I have sweet and salty snacks. Please come. Thank you.
Thank you, Hartini. Second on the list, we have EliteFit AI. EliteFit AI is a virtual personal trainer integrates into fitness apps, sports apps, healthcare apps, and insurance apps to give end users real-time scoring and prescriptive feedback on their online training routines. Please, Ani, welcome to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Oh, that was loud. My name is Ani Bhalekar, and I am one of the co-founders and CEO of EliteFit AI. And what EliteFit AI is a virtual personal trainer that, like Nico said, integrates into sports apps, fitness apps, insurance apps, and healthcare apps to make it a better experience for end users. A little bit about myself. I've been in the technology industry for the last 25 years, largely with big companies like Microsoft in Seattle and McKinsey & Company as a junior partner in Singapore. And I've also been involved in a lot of successful Silicon Valley startups, most notably Quick and Mercado. So over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to walk you through 10 key points about my company, EliteFit AI. So first and foremost is we are profitable. We are now a camel, and we are a B2B2C company that is a software as a service. Our product, like I said, supports all online fitness content, physiotherapy content, sports training content, and also healthcare tests like flexibility, strength, balance, so on and so forth. We have six-figure realized revenues. Our next 12-month revenues are expected to be over $2 million, and our contribution margins are 70%, which obviously, as scale improves, keep getting better. Our total addressable market is huge. It's not only online fitness training, but it's also online sports training, it's online physiotherapy, online healthcare. But even if you take just one of these, it contributes towards over $100 billion annually over the next few years. And within that, the virtual trainer is actually growing faster. Our product market fit was established last year because we have 15 B2B clients, and we got tens of thousands of users, and they use EliteFit AI as their primary mechanism. But our exponential growth model actually comes from distributors. And these are the companies that I spoke about, the sports companies, fitness companies, insurance companies, healthcare companies. And through them, our annual contract values are now upwards of $500,000. And this is really our growth engine going forward. Our leadership team is very experienced in the B2B sector. We have people from McKinsey, Microsoft, AWS, IBM, Honeywell, and the total team size is about 15 people spread across Singapore and India. We are backed by the Singapore government, and in a lot of very meaningful ways, Sports Singapore has actually given us access to over 200 physiotherapists, sports scientists, fitness scientists who really understand the domain. And together with our AI, we're able to build a rockstar product. And IMDA has certified us to serve B2B clients as well. We're the only company in the world that can say that they support over 2,000 movements and tens of thousands of, or 2,000 full routines and tens of thousands of movements. Second last point is we've got a clear path of becoming the world's largest online fitness platform. We have a moonshot in the works that is a B2C path, but that won't kick in anytime within the next 18 months or so. Last but not the least is we've raised $1 million and we have an 18-month plus runway. Obviously, we're profitable right now and we're raising to enable exponential growth. So if you'd like to get in touch, please scan the QR code or visit our booth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ani. Next up, we have Happy Ice. Happy Ice aims to provide affordable, smart, and energy-efficient frozen vending solutions for business partners while delivering the greatest value to consumers through innovative business models and cost-effective solutions. Welcome to the stage, Daniel.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Daniel from Happy Ice. As our company name, we wish to bring happiness closer to the consumer. Let me start with two questions. How do you feel after eating ice cream? Happy? Then why do I eat ice cream more often? This is because most of the time when you want ice cream, you cannot get it. And for business, there's no other option except through staff retailers and not effective last mile delivery. Example, let's recall back your last holiday in a nice resort. You can order almost any food, but not ice cream. Right? This resulting 50% market loss for ice cream product. Happy Ice is here to address this problem of ice cream underserved segment and to complete the dots in online sales. Our solution is via IoT frozen vending machines. Let's back to the scenario holiday in the resort. Will you buy ice cream if it's available next to you? Yes, because it is all about convenience when it comes to address impulsive purchasing behavior. And for online sales, our machine can complete the dots. Example, for the whole of Jakarta, we just need 25 machines to enable all deliveries arrive within 15 minutes. After 30 years, frozen vending machines remain rare in the market because they are not fit for market. With a totally different design concept, our proprietary design enables us to halve the machine cost, 80% lower running costs, and provide peace of mind in operation. We know we have the product market fit. Instead of selling machines, we provide complete solution. This allows us to have two types of long-term revenue. First, B2B. They will pay us on the price to have our machine. Second, when we carry out the operation, we earn from the consumer of 60% product margin. This enables us to maintain machine ownership and control the sales channel. We have launched the MVP 7 years ago in Singapore, and currently it's the third generation machine, which you can see at the downstairs, the red color machines. We have now in Singapore 500 machines. All are designed and manufactured by us. And we just need 5 guys to run all these machines. This enables us to be scalable, profitable, and 80% of Singapore market share. Global ice cream market leaders already our clients, and they have invited us to go beyond Singapore. With all this, we have the 5 keys for new market expansion and with healthy organic growth. But if we have the boosting fund, this will enable us to become a dominant force quicker. Please join us on this boosting journey. This is our first round of fundraising, and we are seeking 2.5 million Sing dollar. With the support from brand owner, we are confident to set foot in 50 countries within 5 years. Historical show. High valuation on vending machine company if they can own the sales channel and have the capability to scale up. Lastly, Do you know Coca-Cola has used vending machines since 1920s, which means it has been 100 years of waiting. It is probably the best time for ice cream product now. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. We can buy Daniel's ice cream downstairs, okay, after this. Next up, we have SafeSpace. SafeSpace is a B2B2C digital mental health care provider and ecosystem. SafeSpace strengthens workplace mental resilience by providing fast and affordable access to quality mental health therapy care online and offline. Welcome to the stage, Antoinette.
Hi everyone, very nice to meet you. I'm Antoinette. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SafeSpace. Who are we in a nutshell? We're a B2B2C digital mental health care provider and ecosystem, and our goal is to drive impactful digital mental health innovation. So let's take a look at the issue right now. And I'm sure all of us know that mental health issues are on the rise. They're definitely increasing, but one thing that we want everyone to know is that it's not a trend. Let's take a look from the B2B angle as well as the B2C angle. For B2B, we already know that's going to cost the economy about $44.6 billion just in 4 countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines. But we are already seeing a big change in user behavior. We do know that APAC is now having the top mental well-being concern, and people are actually willing to pay more for their counseling sessions, whether it's remote or face-to-face. So what do we bring to the table? We want to provide high-quality mental health care at affordable cost and definitely at scale. So what have we done so far? We have created an integrated safe space that you see here and inviting everybody to please take out your phones and scan the QR codes because we already have a working product that's doing well. So the first thing that we did, we started off at B2C, launching clinical therapy, life coaching, and education. And we've recently integrated HR consultancy and research consultancy. And I'll tell you why our competitors are also our clients in the next couple of slides. So what is our traction so far? We have grown steadily over the last 2 years, and this has been our growth since we launched B2B in 2021. We now have over 90 enterprise clients, mostly MNCs, and our revenue has grown substantially with 5x year-on-year growth. Why are clients working with us, especially on the B2B side? It's really these 4 points. Quality. It is mental health, and we have a brand loyalty and a 95% net promoter score. We are so affordable for both customers as well as B2B clients. It starts off as low as $500 for B2B and as low as $30 for B2C consumers, but we can scale this quickly. Ultimately, you want to get results, right? If you're going to go for counseling sessions, are you getting better? So we have a very high session rating scale at 8.8 out of 10, and we have very fast integration. So why is this now the right time for investors to come in? The market is ripe. It's 15% CAGR, and there is so much opportunity that is completely untouched yet, even by us and by our competitors combined. Our business model is proven to work, and we are already across 17 countries that you see here below, and we have 3 business models here. B2B2C is freemium. For consumers, it's pay-per-use, and our competitors are also our clients where they white label our solution and we just take a cut. So we are definitely a very big ecosystem player, and we are continuously growing. So right now, we are actually launching in Indonesia. We are going to be launching our SaaS product, and in fact, it's already gone live. And by the end of the year, we are actually implementing AI across the entire user journey. Our team are all very passionate about mental health, and we are all looking towards growing this together with you as well. And we're currently raising our Series A round, so it's USD 3 mil, which will give us a 36-month runway. Thank you so much. Our booth is downstairs, and we're more than happy to talk to all of you later on.
Thank you, Antoinette. Next on the list, we have Operva AI. Operva AI offers end-to-end service for digital twins, from automated and rapid data collection to full analysis of critical components in the smart city. Welcome, Chris.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris from Operva AI. So we are one of the leading drone service provider in Singapore. We specialize in drone data for AI and digital twin creation. So we have seen tremendous growth in the drone industry. Just last year, 1 year alone, there's a 30% increase in drone usage and commercial pilots in Indonesia. So this is especially true in Asia and Indonesia, as well as other parts of Southeast Asia. So what are the current challenges in the drone process? We've collaborated with a construction company in Singapore. They have a team of drone pilots, And they shared with us that they have a problem with using drones, which require to use a different software for drone control, data processing, and result analysis. So they express a simple need that they have, which is a simple software that they can use to train the pilots and also to see the results. So that's where Airplan D is born. So we started with a one-stop platform that enables the users for drone data collection, create the 3D digital twin, and enable them to have an AI-guided user experience. So how it works is very simple. The client will post the job in the portal. The pilot will accept the job, execute the flight according to the flight plan that's generated from our platform. Then the data is being uploaded to the cloud. And at the end, the client will be able to see the results and analyze the data from the AI tools that our platform provides. So in the past, drone data is just pure static images and videos. So what we envision is that there will be a greater set of drone data that can be greater use from site measurement, identifying the location of the defects from the output model, performing thermal inspection, creating site progress updates, forestry surveillance as well. So we have seen tremendous growth in the last 9 months. We have done 3 site monitoring in Singapore, completed more than 15 building inspection from residential properties to industrial buildings and malls. We also generated $200,000 of revenue over the last 9 months, and they are featured in the news. So in the next 9 months, we'll be focusing in the computer vision, commercialize our software in the SaaS model, and also expand overseas. We believe our team is the perfect team for the execution of this business. Myself in the drone domain, my partner in the AI, and also Tanli in AI, and George in the sales and marketing. We started our business in the COVID times, and it was tough because of construction limit the number of people that can go on site. So during then, it also presents new opportunity for us because companies are more open for exploring new technology to reduce the number of laborers. So we are looking for 500,000 for our seed round funding, which will be used for these 3 areas. So thank you for your attention, and we invite you to fly the future with us.
Thank you, Chris. Second last on our list, we have Empathy. Empathy is a revolutionary employee training platform that leverages the latest generative AI technology to assess employee readiness for work by creating hyper-realistic simulations of their work in a sandbox environment. Inviting Alvinder.
Thank you. I'm Alvinder from Empathy. I'm the CEO and founder of Empathy. So what we do is essentially readiness for work. Despite the vast investment in workplace learning, their key challenges remain: misalignment of training with job roles, slow response to learning needs, and the misalignment of individual aspirations and career tracks. Empathy addresses all of these issues. Take, for example, nurses. With existing digital tools, nurses' platforms, training platforms inadequately mimic real-world complexity. With Empathy, these are addressed really, really quickly. As you can see here, our platform addresses typically a 30% productivity boost with Empathy. When applied across board for triaging pressure injuries, medication administration, and respiratory distress, Empathy typically sees a 30% increase in productivity gains, competency levels, and skills acquisition. But it's not just limited to healthcare. Outside of healthcare, in communications, customer engagement, and productivity, we have customers using Empathy to address their talent needs and addressing of skill gaps. Now, our platform has 4 applications that are distinct yet interconnected: Empathy, Lighthouse, Insight, and Miner. And I'll briefly go through them. With Empathy, we have an immersive simulation that mirrors your job role. You respond as you would in real life. Using the camera and microphone, Empathy recreates the complexity of your work, puts you in a scenario where you actually act out your work and provide you feedback using AI. As you can see, it's not just limited to natural language. empathy using camera can also detect your actions. So manual actions can be recognized by empathy and provide feedback. Now, Lighthouse is our authoring tool. In just 5 minutes, an entire bespoke curriculum, rubric, simulation and assessment, and instructions are developed. And this has a massive impact in the training needs analysis and and curriculum development. So essentially, with Lighthouse, we are able to reduce a process that would typically take from 3 months to 9 months to just as short as 5 minutes. And this has an impact on cost savings as well. So typically, we see a $32,000 cost for developing of curriculum and rolling it out. Empathy is able to actually reduce that to just $82. With Empathy Insight, our analytics is able to actually provide insight into your employees' strengths and weaknesses, your department's opportunities and risk profile, giving you an idea of the state of readiness of your employees. With Minor, essentially, you have an opportunity to train AI in understanding the job complexity of your work. So with AI, your work is understood and simulated. We work with premium organizations, with the government, agencies like Sing Health Polyclinics, Changi General Hospital, NECLI, and SATS. And our incubator has been running for 2 years with these agencies. We have now started rolling out into Indonesia, and in July, we'll be expanding into China. We are raising our inaugural Series A fund, and we invite you to actually connect with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfinder. Last but not least, we have WhaleTech. WhaleTech is an AI, IoT, and data analytics which enables brands with actionable insights and operation automations capabilities to reduce costs, maximize efficiency, and build connection with customers. Welcome to the stage, Jia Chai.
My test. Hello, hi everyone. I'm JC from WhaleTech. I'm based here in Singapore. So WhaleTech, we call ourselves AI co-pilot for brands growth. We work with a lot of global consumer brands, retail brands to empower their business growth through leveraging AI, IoT, and data analytics tech stack. So till date, we have worked with over 1,000 brands across APAC, across FMCG, F&B, fashions, automotive, real estate, etc. And so far, we have transformed over 200,000 stores across APAC. So how it works is that Whale Space side, we equipped your CCTV surveillance cameras with AI capabilities. 3 things that it delivers. Number 1, smart surveillance. You're able to inspect your stores, your space, anytime, anywhere, any device. You could be inspecting your Manila or Jakarta stores right here in Singapore. Second is data insights, leveraging the AI cameras to capture shopper insights to answer critical business questions. How do I replicate last month 20% growth of my retail sales? Was it about a successful marketing campaign, or did we do the right promotions, or is it a more attractive window display? Right, and help you to answer these quick questions and replicate the success. And number 3, operations automation. So we leverage none other than the AI cameras to perform AI inspections. We have F&B customer using AI cameras to inspect rats, pests in their back kitchen, or crowding issues in the shopping mall, in your cafe, right? Some examples of how successful brands have leveraged Whale Space size to derive actionable insights, like Amani, with footfall data, they're able to derive the store profile, understanding some stores, they have single peak, dual peak. For example, any events or any campaigns that give us below 2% entry rate is a bad campaign, right? Having some sort of benchmark, knowing your hourly footfall traffic trend to know how to plan your manpower for your retail store so that you can capture and maximize your sales potential, knowing what types of holidays or campaigns that have the best synergy with your brands, and if you were to pick just 2 campaigns for the upcoming quarter, which one should you allocate your marketing budget for? And last but not least, combining demographics data like age, gender with your in-store insights to tailor your product selections, your store layout, etc. to maximize your retail sales through personalizations, right? Answering other questions like you have new product launch, where are the hotspot that you should position it for, how's customer flow inside your store, and how to engage them for a longer dwell time. So Whale Space side is compliant with enterprise-grade security standards and also privacy protection laws like PDPA by tapping on Re-ID rather than capturing Face ID. What it means is that we leverage on a composite of Outlook features, your head, shoulder, body ratio, your apparel colors to detect you as a unique visitors, unique shoppers. And last but not least, Wheelspace site built the foundations of future of retail for brands by revolutionizing the offline retail store. And we also combine it with Whale Harbor and Whalecast to cover online marketing and live streams, enable brands for omni-channel retail operations, capture full customer journey, and last but not least, maximize business growth. If you're in the business of retail and you're looking to maximize your retail business growth, we invite you to journey the future of retail with Will. Thank you.
Thank you, Chia Chai. Let's give one big round of applause for our GIA Jakarta program startup. Thank you for everyone joining us at the GIA Expo. If you would like to get connected with us or the startups, please indicate your interest by scanning the QR in front or by scanning the QR on the back of your name tag. And if you would like to find out more regarding our program, do not hesitate to contact me or the team. With that being said, we will have a lunch break for refreshment at the main exhibitions area. And stay tuned because we will have a financial service and health expo right here in this room at 1 p.m. Thank you, everyone.